Hello, Questers, and welcome to this episode of Lore Library, the show where I divulge some tidbits and interesting bits of lore for you to use to inspire your D&D campaigns. Today we're going to be taking a look and a deep dive into a group dedicated to justice and the eradication of evil, a group known as the Order of the Gauntlet. Now, the Order of the Gauntlet are a fairly recently emerged D&D faction in the Forgotten Realms. They actually emerged in the 15th century DR Dale Reckoning, which is the current century that the official D&D Forgotten Realms timeline is in. Granted, we are kind of near the end of that century now. And they formed as a coalition of morally upstanding warriors, knights, paladins, and clerics, their mission being a clear one: to destroy evil in Faerun. Now, this unified group is bonded by either their fervent religious beliefs or a staunch dedication to the enforcing of justice. And to the Order of the Gauntlet, evil cannot simply be ignored or tolerated. It must be directly confronted and eradicated. Now, members of the Order draw strength from their faith, standing as bastions against evil forces. And the faith isn't limited necessarily to belief in a personal god. It actually extends to trust in close friends and, importantly, in oneself as well. And most often, Knights of the Gauntlet venerate deities like Helm, the god of guardians, Torm and Tyr, deities of the triad that they are, and Hor, the poet of justice. And these gods embody the values of vigilance, duty, and righteous vengeance, which are pretty central to the Order of the Gauntlet's ethos. Now, the Order of the Gauntlet is very well organised, with chapters spread across the western realms of Faerun, and this network allows them really to remain vigilant against potential threats and be ready to respond to any acts of aggression that they might see. So there are some key locations where the Order maintains a strong presence particularly, which include Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Bryn Shander in the Ten Towns, and a watchtower near the Silvery Moon Pass known as the Hawk's Nest, where they actually breed and train hippogriffs as aerial mounts. And in the Western Heartlands, the Order's chapter house operates out of a tavern known as a Pair of Black Antlers in Elturel. And in Baldur's Gate, they discreetly support vigilantes fighting against lawlessness in Baldur's Gate, of all places. And even farther south than that, in the island of Chult, the Order has established bases, first Camp Righteous and then Camp Vengeance, to combat the undead threat in that particular region. So the Order of the Gauntlet holds three core tenets. 1. Faith is the most potent weapon against evil. 2. Great challenges require heroic demonstration of strength and valour. And 3. It is justified to punish an act of evil, not a thought or feeling. So these beliefs guide their actions and define their approach to dealing with threats. The Order is very clear on its methods. They do not preemptively attack opponents and strike only when evil acts have actually been committed. They strike fast and hard, seeking decisive victories whilst adhering to that strict moral code. So as part of their duties, the Order remains ever vigilant against potential threats to the realms. They investigate secretive organisations, watch over creatures that they deem inherently evil, and are always ready to respond to aggression. It's actually quite rare to see a lone member of the Order of the Gauntlet. They almost always travel in groups, mostly to combine their strengths to stand firm against what they consider to be the darkness. And the Order of the Gauntlet never actually ever seeks the approval of local leaderships before striking against evil. They act very much independently, guided by their unwavering commitment to justice. And they also ensure that their actions are targeted at evil deeds. Again, not mere thoughts or feelings. And one of the main reasons that they do this is it allows them to maintain that moral high ground even in the face of greater challenges. So now let's talk about how you can incorporate the Order of the Gauntlet into your D&D campaigns, whether you're a player or a dungeon master. So if you're playing a character who is a member of the Order of the Gauntlet, remember that your character is driven by a strong sense of justice and a commitment to eradicating evil. So here are 2 or 3 tips to bring your character to life. So first of all, obviously embrace your character's faith, whether it's in a deity, their comrades, or just themselves. Let this faith be the thing that drives your character's actions and, importantly, their decisions. Seek out opportunities where you can as well to demonstrate strength and valor. Your character thrives on facing great challenges and overcoming them with courage. And finally, also be mindful of your character's adherence to punishing evil acts, not thoughts. I can already think of some interesting dynamics with the other party members and NPCs when it comes to deciding which enemies to strike out against. There can certainly be some interesting scenarios there where your character perhaps refuses to tackle an enemy because they haven't actually done anything wrong yet, and that could be a lot of fun. Now, if you're a dungeon master and you wanted to feature the Order of the Gauntlet in your campaigns, here are a few tips for you. So first of all, introduce moral dilemmas frequently where the Order's strict code of justice can be tested. Again, that can create some really rich storytelling opportunities for you. And consider as well that the Order can serve both as allies and antagonists. They might aid the party in fighting a common enemy or clash with them, really, over, shall we call it, differing methods and moral perspectives. Think again to that idea of punishing evil acts, not evil thoughts. And finally, highlight the Order's presence in various regions. Their influence can be felt in a lot of cities and along trade routes, and even in remote wilderness areas as well. So consider how the Order might just be able to crop up every now and then to remind the players of their presence in the Forgotten Realms. Or if you wanted to port it over to your own homebrew campaign, you could do that as well, of course. So the Order of the Gauntlet is a fascinating and dynamic faction in the Forgotten Realms. Their unwavering dedication to justice and their readiness to confront evil make them a formidable presence in any D&D campaign, again, whether that's Forgotten Realms or your own homebrew campaign. And whether you're playing as a member of the Order or weaving them into your story as a dungeon master, there's a wealth of potential for compelling adventures and deep moral exploration. And that's the key, I think, for the Order of the Gauntlet. If you're the sort of dungeon master or player that likes to explore moral dilemmas, then the Order of the Gauntlet can be a really strong faction to use for that purpose. So, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Lore Library. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts and suggestions for future topics. And if you have had experience with the Order of the Gauntlet, either as a dungeon master or a player, then share your experiences and your stories in the comments below as well. So until next time, keep your swords sharp, your faith unwavering, and your sense of justice strong.